christiangeekcentral.com.
Ariel is the name of my... Oh, no, she's not a sorceress. She's an enchantress. The sorceress is what you call the good version of this lady. Anyway, she only has a movement of 3, so that's not going to get me very far. I'm going to go 1, and then I'll use this waypoint to pick up the items from the stash. And I've actually already did that earlier, so just because I knew I was going to do that eventually. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, it's as far as I can go, and this X does not have line of sight to this X, so I can't do an attack right now. So that's all she's going to do, and now we move on to the enemy turn. As is the case with the Galaxy Defenders, it's all AI controlled, and so you've got an encounter deck that determines kind of like things that happen in general on the board during kind of this part. And then which enemies will move and stuff, and then each enemy has its own AI. So you get the encounter cards, and then each enemy type. This guy here, he's got some basic stats on this card, but then there's like an entirely separate card that determines like what his AI is given his placement on the board and what kinds of heroes are near him and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's actually fairly complex. It feels more complex this time around than it did in Galaxy Defenders. So did I call it Guardians of the Galaxy? I might have. Anyway, okay, so encounter card that I drew, since there's an enemy on the board, I draw an encounter card. It's called March. Activate 2 enemies, otherwise spawn 2 enemies. There's only 1 enemy on the board, but as long as you can at least partially fulfill that first kind of direction, then you don't move on to the second one. So I will activate this 1 enemy. Let me put that encounter card there, and that means that he's going to activate according to his AI. He is, let's see here, 1, 2, okay, so he can 1, 2, he can move and get this guy, or my thief lady. So he's going to move and attack her, I think, if I understand this correctly. Crap, this is where I got to look up again, because there's a preferred enemy type, and so he prefers to attack the enemy that has the most coin. I can't remember if that takes precedence. I think you try to fulfill each one of these AI directives first. So like, checking for enemies in the... I'm going to look it up. Crap. Yeah, okay, so the preferred here, like this symbol here, means that once he determines the area in which he's going to attack, he's going to choose the hero that has the most crowns on them. That's the name of the currency in this game. Anyway, so he looks in his immediate area at a range of 0 and attacks with claws if he can. There's no one he can attack there. So then he's going to look in 1 area around him and then 2 areas around him for any enemies that qualify. And so, yeah, my whatchamajigger lady, Shay, is 2 areas away. So he's going to move to engage and attack with his claws, which if you look down here, that amounts to an attack with 2, let's see here, yeah, 2 red dice. And then also, what do we got here? He's got this thief ability. If claws attack deals damage, discard a random coin from targeted hero's inventory, or if empty, from target's area. Well, there's nothing in my inventory or my area, so I don't have to worry about that. Banding, if enemies control its area, and that's if there's a greater number of enemies in a given area than heroes, then they control it, and vice versa. If enemies control its area, claws attack inflicts +1, so I don't have to worry about that. And then the evil force thing, that's not relevant right now. So, okay, so he's going to move in and attack with his claws. Let's see what happens. So he's going to go here, and then he's going to roll 2 red. And you might be asking yourself, Paeter, why do you have a world religions textbook out here on the table? And the reason for that is I am on a quest not just to complete this mission and see what I think about this game, but I am looking for the ultimate dice rolling surface. Throughout college, in the height of my paper and pencil role-playing days, we would get together at friends' houses on the weekends and rotate where we were each week, and so we couldn't be sure where we were going to be gaming, what kind of furniture would be available there. Most of the time we ended up role-playing in a living room and just sitting on the floor, and we would use like our rule books for our various role-playing games or whatever to roll on, and I just really like that sound. I like the sound of like dice rolling on a hard book, and I don't think I have the rule books that I do actually, but what I really want to do is see if I can find the ultimate hardbound book to roll dice on that will give me the most beautiful, majestic sound, the warm tones, the trebly tones that will get the clacking of the plastic, but then also get some of that nice, almost wooden type of sound. And so the first book that I am testing this time is a Patterns of Religion textbook. This is a book I bought shortly after college. I think it is the same book that I had in my world religions class when I was in college that I just short-mindedly kind of sold back to the ASU, Arizona State University bookstore. And so anyway, yeah, when I saw this at a used bookstore, I was like, oh, I should pick that up, because I'd like to kind of have perspective on... I have books from a Christian perspective on various world religions. Well, actually, I think just one major one that comes to mind. But I also like to know how that conversation is being handled from a purely secular standpoint. And I feel like in this book, they give Christianity they represent Christianity pretty fairly, pretty accurately. I mean, it's definitely kind of detached in their representation of it, and so I think by the nature of doing that, they're missing out on understanding some of the finer points. But it was a good enough treatment that I was like, okay, if they're going to treat Christianity like this, then I feel like it's going to be probably a solid representation of these other worldviews. And so, in the type of work and ministry that I do, I like to be able to have that kind of resource at my disposal. So that's why it's on my bookshelf. But right now, I'm hoping to get the right sound out of it when I roll my dice. Let's find out. All right, here we go. Okay, so first off, I thought that the sound was okay. It had, I guess I'm going to have to hear more rolls and with more dice. It's hard to get a sense with just 2 dice. I liked what I heard so far. I'm going to withhold my initial reactions until I get a little bit more of a beefy dice roll to listen to. As far as the contents of this roll, let's see here. We've got a hit, which is what that little almost tiara-looking thing is. That's like a swipe in the air with an impact point in the middle. And then we've got a like a pentagram-y type looking thing, a magic star. And then this little gremlin face, that means a miss, so we just kind of discard that. So he doesn't have any abilities that can be triggered by by the magic symbol. So it's just gonna count as 1 hit. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no extra damage coming from that. And now, because of Shay's studded leather armor, she's going to roll 2 blue dice, and she already has 1 bit of armor. Oh, actually, so wait a minute, I don't even have to roll, because before I even roll dice, I got to factor in this armor and see if that negates any hits. I have 1 armor, that's going to negate 1 hit. I don't even have to roll, so that was pretty freaking cool. So, great, he doesn't do anything. Alright, so now we've got the event phase. I'm going to draw an event card. And it says, Lost Treasure. Place a treasure card in the active heroes area, baby. Yeah! Alright, so let's see here. This isn't the same, I don't think, as her drawing a treasure card, so I'm not going to have her draw 2 and choose 1 as her treasure hunter ability allows. So this one is, let's see here. So we'll just draw 1 treasure card. Let's see what we get. Bag of Crowns. Gain 100 crowns. Immediately discard Bag of Crowns. Awesome. Crown me with many crowns. Actually, I did that wrong. I'm just supposed to put it face down in the... place a treasure card in the active heroes area. I think I'm just supposed to put it face down, and then on her turn as a free action, she can pick it up. But, oh well. She's going to go first in the hero's turn. I'm giving her the crowns. Crown me with many crowns. That's a better key. All right. Was that too loud for the microphone? Crowns, 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 crown. All right, so now we do the time phase. There's nothing that really needs to refresh itself or recharge or whatever. So then we move on to the battle phase, and each hero gets a turn here. I think I had that enemy go last time on the wrong hero's turn. The monsters get divvied out to players around the table so that there's not just one player that has to control all of the monsters, and I was kind of screwing that up the last time I played this and just controlling all of them at once, and I think as a result not giving them as many turns as they're supposed to have in total. I'm not sure about that. I think that gremlin should have, like, I'm not sure if he should have gone when he went or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to be screwing up a lot of rules. If this ends up being a series, just a heads up, if you want to put rules corrections in the comments, you're welcome to do that. Don't plan on them getting fixed at all in the next video. Because probably what I'm going to do, however long this series ends up being, if this is a one-shot, then, well, you know, it's a one-shot. And if it's a series, I'm probably going to record the whole series before I even put up the first episode. So your rules corrections will be nice for my little personal playtime away from video cameras, but they will not have any effect on this video series. So I apologize for that if that's going to irritate you. Again, this is going to be more about watching me play with my toys. If you're here to see the game played correctly, it's probably going to irritate you a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so Shay is going to go, and there's a peculiar effect right now. I didn't show this at the beginning, but there's like, this game has day and night cycles, and this one started out in the night, and at some point the day cycle will be triggered, and each quest is going to have its own kind of effects that are unique. Sometimes no effect during the night and no effect during the day, and other times unusual properties will be applied. In this case, when all hero attacks get -1 hit as long as we're in the night cycle of the gameplay. And we are in the night cycle right now, which means Shay is going to attack this gremlin and try to wipe him out. But just to hedge my bets a little bit, I'm going to use one of these action activities that I can use. Let's see, where is it here? Focus. There we go. Focus and attack once per round. I can add 1 hit to an attack at the cost of one of my 2 actions here that I'm allotted. See this yellow thing? Sorry, the light's not the best, but yeah, I've got 2 of those. So one I'm going to use to attack, the other one I'll use to kind of focus my attack and get an automatic extra hit, which is going to be canceled out by the night effects. So that just means that the roll here ultimately is whatever it ends up being. So let's see what it is. And listen, oops, that didn't count. And listen again while I'm at it. Yeah, it's got a nice kind of warm sound to it. Let's see here, 2 hits, and then I got a surge here, which they call something else in this game. I'm probably just going to call it surges till the day I'm dead. I don't have any magic abilities that can get triggered, but let's see here, my broadsword, for a surge, I can do, and I can only activate this ability once no matter how many surges I get, but I can add an extra hit. So yeah, I'm totally going to do that. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 hits total. And let's see here, Mr. Gremlin just happens to have no armor and 3 health, so he is dead. And the little note on his card says that he drops 5 crowns. So I am once again crowned with crowned with 5 crowns. She's going to pick that up as a free action. And so let's see, I kind of want to get her ahead of Ariel a bit so that she can kind of act as my scout/tank and be a target for bad guys that might show up. So I am going to have her move. Let's see here. I'll go 1, 2, and then this little thing is like a red tinted scroll here with a boot icon on it. That means that this terrain takes 2 movement points to get into instead of just 1. So let's see here. 1, 2, we'll go 3, 4. She's still got 1 movement left if I want to use it. This little token here is that's a spawn point. It has a shield on it because it corresponds when you're told to spawn enemies. You roll the dice and whatever icon shows up, that's the spawn point from which the enemy emerges. So anyway, that's what that's for. I don't need to worry about that for now. But I do need to reveal these shadows here and see what we have. Oh, those are supposed to be both on this area right there. Okay. So first one is enemy. Okay, so I'm going to spawn an enemy. Enemy card this time that I drew is a blue gremlin with slightly different stats and a different set of AI kind of instructions. One reason I bought Gloomhaven before I bought this one, because both games were on my radar, was that this game comes with far fewer enemy models. I was going to say enemy types. There are 3 color versions of every single Well, all the main enemies, I should say. So like a gremlin, there's a green gremlin, a blue gremlin, and a red gremlin, and they all kind of have different stats and different AI stuff, and enough that like in another game they would be different monsters entirely, instead of just kind of ranks, which is what they are in this game. And one of the things that I love about these kinds of adventure games, dungeon crawls and stuff, is the variety of monsters that you can run into. I mean, Milton Bradley's Hero Quest has far more enemy models than this game does. And that game came out in like 89, I want to say, or 1990. And so this just really seemed like a step down in that department. And so I was like, you know what, that's going to get so boring. And Gloomhaven, to create a vast variety of enemy types, didn't go the route of miniatures. They went with standees that were full color, that had really nice art on them. That's still one of the high points of that gameplay experience for me, is those standees and the monster art and all the variety of them. That really, really cool stuff. And so I was kind of bummed, and I was like, I don't know. But this one, as I said, is scratching my itches so much more in the departments of looting, character development, and character like growth. I'm trying to make it. It's not like in a movie or like a book when a character develops. I mean, like, character. What do you call that when you level up and stuff and gain new abilities? I'm just going to call that development. And exploration. It's really doing much better for me in those departments so far than Gloomhaven was, so I'm willing to kind of give in a little bit. But even having said that, at least there's some tactical variety, if not some model variety, in the different, color-coded ranks that you can find of each of these. So this guy has 4 hit points. Instead of cash, he's going to give me essentially an experience point. It's called like a soul point in this game. And then he's got, a different ability and stuff, and blah, 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 blah. All right, so that's what comes out. I don't have to fight him right now, and technically it's not spawning. I called it spawning. I don't think it's technically spawning. Let's see what was right next to him. Boom! Focus! There we go, it's another enemy. All right, so let's see what's next in the deck. It is, boom, a green gremlin. All right, we've seen one of those before. And I will go ahead and finish her move. Well, you know what? My sorceress is not even in line of sight right now. So maybe I'll just keep her where she's at, because my Ariel's not even going to be in line of sight right. Well, but I'm about to bring her into line of sight. Maybe, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and move Shay forward just 1 now, and then that will be the end of her turn. Oops, I forgot. I was supposed to flip this thing here to show that her turn is done. And now she's going to, we're going to draw an encounter card and resolve it, because it's the end of her turn. Zoop. All right, it says, come on, focus now. Activate all magic enemies. Otherwise, each enemy recharges 1 jigger point and heals 2 hit points per act. There are acts in this kind of campaign. I think this whole first set that comes in the box is all just Act 1. Now, are either these magic enemies? Let's find out. These icons in the upper right corner indicate that that's a dexterity enemy, because it looks kind of like a D, even though it's kind of like it's a triangle thing. It's a stylized D. That's the symbol they use. They try to make them, even though they're kind of trying to go for like a rune type vibe, they still try to make the symbols look like the letter of the the word they're trying to represent. So that represents magic enemies. Neither of these guys are magic enemies. They're both, and that refers to kind of like their fighting style, how they tend to do their attacking and stuff like that. So I'm activate all magic enemies. There are no magic enemies. So otherwise, each enemy recharges 1 energy point. There's a name for that. I can't remember what it is. I think it's just like a charge. I don't know. And heals 2 hit points per act. So everybody's fine. That's not going to change anything. So we are just done. That's nice. Ariel is taking her turn. She has, how much movement? 3 movement. So let's see how far she's going to get. 1, 2, 3. That is definitely not going to get her within line of sight of being able to trounce on those guys, which I really would have liked. So that sucks a bit. But now the enemies get to take another turn. So let's do this again. Draw an encounter card. What happens? Veteran Assault. Activate all blue enemies. I do have one of those out there, so I don't even have to worry about the otherwise. And let's see here. His AI says he's probably not going to be... Let's see. He's going to move 1 space, move to engage, attack with claws, and whoever has the most crowns, which right now that's going to be Shay anyway. Yeah, so... blue enemy is going to go right here, attacking with claws, which is going to be 2 red dice. And do I got these cards mixed up? Wait, that's the green one. Do I have the blue and the green? Crap! All right, I got them mixed up. Oh, I was looking at the right card. I just had it in the wrong place. All right. Attacking with claws, 2 dice. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's a miss and 1 hit. And let's see here, but she's got that armor of 1. So again, nothing is going to happen. I'm super duper happy about that. So that is now the end of the enemy turn. So now we move on to the event phase. I draw an event card. Where are those at? Oh yeah, no, I don't. You've got this event deck, and whenever you draw a card, if there's no card on top, then you draw a card. You follow the instructions, and then you set it on top of the deck. And then the next time you get to the event phase, if there's a card sitting on top like this, all you do is take it off and discard it. So it still acts as a clock, but you're not necessarily getting a new event card, doing something to the game every single turn. So this turn I get a little bit of a reprieve in the event phase, and that's it for that. Okay, so now we move back to the time phase. There's no kind of upkeep that needs to be done here, so we move on to the hero phase, and Shay is going to go, and she's going to, let's see. I was thinking maybe I should move her forward here and leave this blue gremlin for Ariel to take care of. But I think actually I'm going to stay here, because if I try to do that, this blue gremlin's going to get a free attack on me. So she is going to take a shot with her broadsword, which involves rolling 2 red dice. Let's see how it goes. Oh man, so that's a miss. And then, oh, I forgot to focus my attack. That sucks. I totally should have done that. Let's see here. But she does... Oh, no, wait, no, she can't do 2 attacks. Okay, crap, I totally should have focused my attack. Oh, well. So that's 1 hit, which is negated by the Knight effect. And then I can use the Surge to get in 1 more hit. So it's going to be 1 hit that the blue gremlin has to deal with. Here's a big problem, though. My broadsword up here at the top, it's a slash based weapon. That's the type of edged weapon attack that it is. And the gremlin here has this ability that you check during the defense phase. Slash, if it's a slash attack, -1 hit. So I'm not going to do any damage to this punk. That super sucks. All right. Is there anything else I can do? No, dang it. That was a bonehead move to not focus my attack. Crap. Alright, so her turn, I keep forgetting to do this with the jewel, with both of them. Her turn is now done, and so now we do the enemy turn. Oh, jeez, this is really going to get nasty. Close combat. Activate all engaged enemies. Okay, engaged enemies are those that are in the same area, I think, as a hero. So that's only going to be 1 of them here, thank goodness. So the blue guy basically gets to do an attack here. And he rolls, what's his, it's activate all engaged enemies. So, yeah, he's still going to be attacking. He's still going to be attacking with claws, which is going to be his 2 red dice attack. Let's see what happens. He got a miss, and then he got a hit with a surge. He doesn't have any abilities that will activate a surge. Let's see here. Oh, this sucks, though. He's got this thief ability. Crap. So it says thief. If Claw's attack deals damage, discard a random coin from targeted hero's inventory, or if empty, from target's area. So if this does damage, then I could stand to lose some cash, because she's holding 105 crowns right now. But she, again, has armor, and that's going to negate the 1 hit that he manages to land. So no worries about that. It does not do damage. So that's the end of her battle hero turn, or enemy turn, or whatever that's the battle phase. That's what the whole thing's called. A hero's turn, and then an enemy turn that follows it is 1 battle phase. So that would be her battle phase, Shay's battle phase. All right. So now we'll move on to Ariel's battle phase, and she does not have line of sight because this X, even though you'd think in another game, if these were big, huge squares on a hero quest or a descent board, you would draw a line. So yeah, she has line of sight into that area. No, not in this game. You got to draw from X to X. So X. If it was right here in the center, that'd be great, but it's not. It's got to be here, so she doesn't have line of sight. She's got to go here, 1, 2. She's got to move into 3, so she'll just stop right there. And then she's gonna probably smoke this guy.